Mmm. This shrimp curry is super yummy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the shrimp curry and a key component of Indian cuisine that is going to be a really quick and easy shortcut so that you can fast track any Indian recipe that your heart desires. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Would love it if you would subscribe for more food and more travel, because I'm going to be exploring all kinds of delicious dishes and cuisines across the world. Make sure to click the bell icon to get notifications as soon as I upload new content. Now we're gonna get cooking. Welcome to Yvonne Meets Food, where I share my passions for making food, eating food, and traveling the world to discover even more delicious food. Today we are going to be making a big staple that is always in my freezer to make some quick Indian food, and that is tomato onion masala. So you're probably wondering, what is tomato onion masala? And if you are familiar with my channel and previous videos, you've probably seen me use this mysterious tomato onion masala to make dishes like chicken curry or quick dal in my Instant Pot. I will link them below in case you have not seen them. Tomato onion masala is basically an Indian hack that I've learned. It's basically tomatoes and onions that have been cooked down into a big mash with different types of spices so that you have it on hand as kind of like a quick, almost like a quick additive into foods so that you can have quick Indian food whenever you would like it. Oftentimes when people think about Indian food, they're thinking about the number of spices. They're also thinking about all of the preparation that has to go into Indian food. And while all of that is quite laborious, the goal of tomato onion masala is to make Indian food more approachable, quicker. You'll have it on hand as a shortcut in your freezer or in your fridge, so that you can basically just throw it into your dish and you won't have to worry about taking out your chopping board and getting out a knife to prepare all of these things. This allows you to do the prep work in advance, all in one go. So while this is going to be an ungodly amount of chopping that we're going to be doing together, you're going to do it all in one go, and you're going to have massive amounts of this tomato onion masala so that you can just throw it in whenever you feel like it. So we're going to get started right now. The base of this is going to be tomatoes and onions, hence the name tomato onion masala. So we're gonna do 2 pounds of tomatoes. We've also got 2 pounds of onions. So we're gonna basically chop all of this up. We're also gonna have about a 2-inch piece of ginger that we're gonna finely mince, an entire bulb of garlic that we're going to mince, and then we got our spices. Coriander ground, a bit of cayenne for some heat, paprika, cumin, and then some turmeric, as well as some black pepper that I've ground up. So we're gonna start with the tomatoes because the tomatoes are not gonna make me cry. The onions are gonna make me cry. One little hack there, even though it still doesn't work because I still end up tearing up quite a bit, is if I leave them in my fridge for a bit to just chill them. So we're gonna get started with all this chopping and we will continue with the process. So while all this chopping is gonna be a bit of work, I wanna warn you that you don't have to be super precise about it. You can just roughly chop them because we're gonna end up blitzing this either with an immersion blender or a regular blender anyway. So now that we finished doing all of the hard work, we're now gonna do the fun part, which is including our beloved Instant Pot. I have my Instant Pot plugged in. I've already put in about a 1/4 cup of neutral oil. I use canola oil because I had it. And we are going to hit the saute button. And we're gonna let the oil heat up. So I'm gonna add in the onions. This is all 2 pounds of the onions, all chopped up. Didn't cry that much, so I'm pretty proud of myself. So we want to let these onions cook until they're nice and brown and slightly caramelized. So this is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes. So don't rush the onions, be nice to them, be patient. This is all going to be worth it. I'm just going to stir up the tomatoes, let them cook for a little bit, and then add in the spices. Okay, add in the spices. Give it a nice stir. We got those spices incorporated. I'm actually going to shut off the Instant Pot right now. What I would normally do is I would shut off the saute button and then immediately put it on high pressure for about 5 minutes. But because I have a newer version of the Instant Pot, which is more sensitive to the burn error, if you are familiar with the Instant Pot, you know what I'm talking about. If you have a newer model, no one wants the burn error. So we're going to shut off the saute, turn off the Instant Pot completely, let it cool for just a little bit. And then once it's cooled down a bit, we're then gonna turn it on to high pressure for 5 minutes. Make sure you put the valve for sealing, not venting. And we're gonna wait for it to beep. So I'll see you in a little bit. We reached high pressure super quickly. We were at high pressure for 5 minutes, and I've actually let this sit for about half an hour. So we're gonna open this up to see what this looks like. Ooh. Smells super fragrant. It's very tomatoey. It's really, really thickened while at high pressure. All the tomatoes and onions have fully cooked down, and we've only got one step left. So at this point, if you had an immersion blender, you could just blitz it directly in the Instant Pot. I don't actually have an immersion blender, so I'm gonna transfer all of this into my blender, and then we're gonna blend it up until it's super smooth. So I've got my blender set up, and I've taken the Instant Pot, placed the pot out of the contraption. So we're gonna add this into the blender. If I had an immersion blender, I would be using it, but use what you got. Okay, we're gonna blitz it up until it's super smooth. So here goes. So I'm planning to use some of this for a shrimp curry for tomorrow, but the other part of it I'm not gonna use for a bit, so I'm gonna add them into my little molds. So these are actually cupcake molds and ice cube molds. If you have watched my bone broth video, you would recognize these molds. I use the exact same molds to freeze my stock. In terms of capacity, these cupcake molds are 1/4 cup, and these ice cube molds are 1/2 cup. So that's how I remember how much I need to use for each recipe. And as long as you have space in your freezer, you can just lay these flat, freeze them, and then pluck them out as though they are ice cubes, and then store them in Ziploc bags for future use. So that pretty much wraps up the tomato onion masala process. Tomorrow, what we'll do is I'll show you how to make a very quick shrimp curry, and then you can actually see the tomato onion masala in action. Welcome back. It's the next day, and we have allowed some of our tomato onion masala to freeze in the freezer. So just to give you guys a sense of what that looks like, I froze them in my cupcake and my ice cube molds, and I have them all packed in this Ziploc bag, so very nifty. Today we're going to be making the shrimp curry that I mentioned yesterday. This is going to be really quick, really easy. Our ingredients list is super simple, super short. So we've got that tomato onion masala that we made yesterday. This is 3/4 cup. Variety of spices, garam masala, salt, pepper, as well as some cayenne for a little bit of added heat. Shrimp. We've got 1 pound of very large shrimp here. These are peeled, deveined, fresh cilantro for garnish at the very end, and 1/2 cup of water. So I'm gonna bring over my Dutch oven to put in all the ingredients. So I'm gonna dump in everything except the cilantro. So my water, all the spices, the shrimp. So we're gonna cook this on medium heat until the shrimp are just cooked. And you'll know that they are just cooked because they'll just start turning pink. So we wanna cook these shrimp until they're just cooked through and nice and pink. So that was super quick over the stove, and the curry's nice and hot, so I'm gonna scoop some into a bowl. I've already got some fresh basmati rice that I've steamed. So I'm gonna scoop some onto this rice, and we're gonna do a taste test together. Ooh, this curry's gotten a little bit thick over the heat. And I've also garnished it with that fresh coriander cilantro. So here goes, we're gonna take a bite. Oh, the shrimp are still huge, even after cooking. That is super yummy. Ooh, it's a bit spicy because of all that cayenne that I added. This is super good. The shrimp is perfectly cooked, has that nice crunch to it. That's how you know that shrimp is well cooked. It's got that nice crunch, it's not rubbery even in the slightest. Has like that nice bite. And so it's even, this whole thing is like very creamy even though there's no cream in it. I think it's just because the tomatoes and the onions and all the spices melding together just makes this curry just naturally kind of creamy. Doesn't get quicker, easier, or tastier than this. It's a super nutritious, super healthy meal to whip up if you are short on time. And of course, for tomato onion masala, it will yield many, many recipes, many dishes that you can have for your family or anytime you are short on time, you just want a really quick, nutritious, well-rounded Indian meal. So there will be more recipes coming for how to use this tomato onion masala. Definitely check out my previous dal as well as chicken curry recipes for more inspiration on how to use the tomato onion masala. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. I would love it if you would subscribe for more food, more travel as I travel the world and explore the world to discover new and delicious flavors. So thanks again for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye.